Cam Radio, we go ham. It's your boy Tony G. Big Lou, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, sports book. Lots to talk about. Had a really crazy weekend. A lot going on. We had the Belmont. We got NHL playoffs. We have the NBA playoffs, NBA finals, NHL finals. Lots of baseball, college baseball. A lot to bet on, a lot to win. Going to the Belmont, Sovereignty won two legs out of the Triple Crown. It was Sovereignty, Journalism, and Baez. And I did a drop before the race, and I gave him Baez, however you say. He was. I said it was a good horse to put on show. That was exactly what I said. It was definitely in there. And actually, we talked about Sovereignty and Jerusalem last week. Really good race. Race season is off and ready. Make sure you're out there at Louisiana Downs. Lots of great racing. Going into the NHL, the series is tied 1-1. They're playing. Gonna end up probably going 6 series. I think you could still get good money at Edmonton win in the series. Go into your apps and see what they got. Some of them don't have it. Sometimes you gotta go to the kiosk. There's some stuff on the kiosk that you get action at that you don't get action at on your app. So this says Sly and the Family Stone died today.
Wow.
I didn't know.
Wow.
It's terrible. Didn't know he was still alive.
I thought I'm right there with you, Tony. I thought he was already. I thought he had already transitioned on. I didn't know that
Me neither.
he was still with us.
So he was
Wow.
Sly Stone. Cooler than
Wow.
cool, flyer than
Yeah.
fly. Everyday people. There you go. Gotta love lots
I
of great
mean,
music, lots of great
so many
production.
hits.
Yeah, so many hits.
Just put his name in the search bar, Army. If you're not familiar with his music, just put Sly Stone in the search bar and get ready for the ride. Get ready for the ride. It was some great music, great times back when he was putting the
And
music out.
if you find out you do like him, also put in Curtis Mayfield. I think you'll like
Yes,
Curtis Mayfield. It'll
yes,
be right there with the
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
absolutely. Um, so yeah, so the series tied 1-1. Like I said, check out the kiosk. And don't forget, if you guys have any questions or you got something you want, give us a call at 318-221-5422. Tell them we run our advertise on for our sponsors on a separate loop. You guys know who they are, of course. But going back to the game, you got Indiana went up 1-0, covered the
Hmm.
spread, came back at 11-point dogs. Didn't cover the spread. They did fall behind. They were behind as far as 24 at one time.
Yes,
In that
yes.
first took them a little while to get kind of, it seemed like they just weren't hitting on all cylinders. I guess really
Mm.
that's the because I want to say, let me see, Wednesday,
Yeah.
Sunday. Let's
Yep.
see what we got.
It looked like the strategy for Coach Carlisle was okay, we're going to play them tough. We're going to reserve our energy. And then the third quarter, we're going to hit them like they did in game one. And they came out with a victory in that one. But OKC didn't let off the gas this time. They stayed
No,
steady.
they did. But what's interesting, so going into halftime, it was
Mm-hmm.
59. It was 59-41. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
outscored them.
59-41 at the half.
But then the second half, basically, the Pacers they were 33-34 in the third, and then 33 outscored them 33-30. They had a couple runs there where they could have made it. They just kind of fell. I think they fell too far behind. And they ended up losing
Mm-hmm.
by 16. They just couldn't make up the difference, it seems like. In the second half, they were dead even. Actually, the second half, if it was two games, the second half they would have won. They would have won by 2 points. The
Mm-hmm.
first half, we know they lost by 19 or 18 points. They, like I said, it just seemed SGA, doing what SGA does.
Yes.
Yeah, it took Halliburton. It took him a little bit. His points were 17. Uh,
Hmm.
he had three in the second quarter. I mean, he
Yeah.
was. I didn't think he was going to make it, but he did. But Pascal had 15. Uh, Nesmith had 14. Turner had 16. Uh, Neberhard had 11. Tyrese Halliburton had 17. I mean, a couple people off the bench. Martha, that he was 14. TJ had 11. I mean, they had some. It just, like I said, it just came to. They let them get too much of a lead, and then they
Yeah.
couldn't make up. They couldn't make up the difference on the. And Holgram had 15. Jalen Williams had 19. SGA had 34. Off the bench, uh, how do you say his name? Alex
Caruso.
Caruso.
Alex
He had,
Caruso. Yes.
yeah, he had 20 off the bench.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, which is real. I mean, that's contributing a lot. And then Wiggins had 18 off the bench. In fact, I'm gonna pull that up. I mean, they can play ball. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I just, um, like I
Yes,
said, I'm
that
not.
was yeah, that was one of the trades from the Lakers that really hurt. They had to, but you had to let Caruso go. You had to let him go to because of his contract. But that was an
Yeah,
excellent pickup by Caruso was an excellent pickup for OKC because he's a good player off the bench. SGA to me is just living up to all of the accolades that he's getting. Indiana had some poor shot selections and they were
yeah,
kind of sloppy on the rebounding as well. Shot selection was terrible. And what kills them is that mid-range shot. SGA has the mid-range. Now, of course, you can go inside, dominate inside. You got your three, but that mid-range shot, that 15, 20 footer, those are the ones, especially when you're clutch with them. Those are the ones that can eat you up because you're not going to, they can't predict. You're going all the way to the rim, you know, and then you can make a move and get them off their footing on the defense, and you can step in and hit that mid range shot. And as long as it's falling, those are points on the board. Kind
right.
of felt also that Indiana kind of got into panic mode, and I've noticed that because the three ball is what everybody wants to shoot nowadays anyway, and it just feels like when teams uh start falling behind a little, they feel like they have to get that three up to catch up real fast. Those two still count, and you can bring your lead, bring the lead down with the mid range and getting into the rack and getting to the free throw line. And when you get close, 4 points, you know, 4 to 6 points differential, then you bring the three out, put the pressure on the other team. Seems like nowadays they quick to jack that three up before trying to knock the lead down a little bit. They feel like that the only way they can catch up is if they shoot the three, and if the three is not falling, and theirs is, you know, it hurts you more. I would try to crawl my way back, crawl, pinch at that lead, and then once I get close enough, bang, then you start hitting your threes. Then you even the score. Then you go up two, and now you kind of switch the momentum a little bit.
So like but basically what you're, I mean, I'm in total agreement with what you said, but like you said, I think Indiana's some of the shot choices early on. Uh, Halliburton was 3 for 8 3 pointers. Uh, Andrew Nebhard was 1 for 4. Turner was 1 for 5. Aaron Nesmith was 4 for 8. Pascal was 1 for 3. The Abi Toppin, he was 1 for 5, where he was on fire the other night. You know what I mean? It was kind
Yeah,
of they were
yeah,
just
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It,
yeah, they were 40. Let me see. They were 40, 40. They made 40. I mean, I'm sorry, they made 14s and they missed 36. Um, I mean, you can look at it a lot of different ways. Six of those 3 pointers go and they got the win. But I definitely
mhm.
agree with what you said. I mean, it definitely definitely, they both have good defense. They both have great
Right.
defenses. They
Mhm.
both have. I mean, they're um, really good. I know. Some people say it's not the most watched series. I could see that as far as popularity. But if you're
Mhm.
not watching this, if you're not watching this series, you're missing out because you're
Missing
watching
out.
great back. Yeah, you're watching great
Great,
basketball. It may
great
not be the
basketball.
cities that you wanted to see, and I totally understand that. It's not the
Hmm.
um, you know Indiana is not the, and here's OKC, their
Right.
popularity. Yeah, but man, you were missing out on some really good, really great
Hmm.
basketball. Now going into game 3, we're going to be in Indiana. Um,
Hmm.
Indiana is still a dog, 5 point. I really thought that I thought maybe they would make it um, more than this, but they're 5 at home plus 5.5. Um,
Yeah.
the under is or the over's 228. Um, Hit it last night. Didn't hit it 221. Didn't hit it the other night. I would play the. I would maybe try to see if I get a little bit less on the total, because
Hmm.
if it starts off just a little bit slow, the the total is constantly moving. Let me see here. I'm sure SGA's points are, 35 minus
Hmm.
110. That's a lot of points. I know he can
Yeah.
do it, but man, when he has a
In
bad night, he
Indiana
score.
too.
Yeah. Jalen Williams, 22. Tyrese Halliburton, they got it plus 18. At 16, he's minus 250. That's not too much action to give up.
Right.
Uh, Pascal, you can get him at 18 at minus 185. Miles Turner. So there's a lot of the one that I like playing around with is SGA's total points, or not even so much
Hmm.
him, but just Tyrese Halliburton, or because the total points, which is points, rebound, and assist, they
Right.
got HGA at 48. His average is 43.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I know, right? I mean, like I always say, man, you can switch. The more accounts you have, the better. It's kind of a
Hmm.
pain, but because you may get 44 at minus 125 at another, because that's one of the biggest things about sports betting is checking your value, because every book has is different some kind of way. And if you can get a little bit of if you can get SGA total points 45, I would definitely say take it. Because he'll get some assists, he'll get a couple rebounds. What do you think? You think Indiana can win at home?
Yes, I think Indiana can take this game. The first game back, and the ball kind of, everything kind of swings your way a little bit. You're familiar with the rim, crowds on your side, so you got that momentum going for you. Um, Indiana could win this game. I'm not going to say easily, but they could win this game. It might take OKC. I'm thinking they might, if they drop this one, they'll win the next one. Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, because it's always the first game back. You know that. But the way that OKC is playing, they could steal their joy and get a close game win out of this. But something just tells me that Indiana shot is going to be on. I think Halliburton is going to take more shots, and he's a true. He's a pass first guy. He doesn't mind getting his guys involved If they got that shot open, he'll pass it. But I think his shot selection is going to be better. It's going to be, and I think he's going to shoot more. He's going to shoot more at home where he's familiar at.
Right. I
Yeah, I
I mean,
got a feeling. I feel like Indiana's going to win this one, but can't I can't 100% put my foot on it because I know that Oklahoma City could very much win this game too, and it won't shock us. But I
right.
just got a feeling with them being back in their familiar environment and with the momentum on their side, I think they might pull this one off.
Well, I like I said before, I said there's no point in the game that I feel like that really either one of them is out because
Hmm.
they both I mean, they were down 20 and they came within 6 a couple times. It was there and
Right.
then then
Hmm.
it fell back. They would go on a run. OKC held off the run. So any again, either one of these, the point spreads, I mean, they're close. Um, I'm gonna have to look at this one real tight. I mean, I would off the top of my head, I would love to go. Yeah, I think Indiana. But we'll have to see how Indiana I mean, they've done it. I mean, we'll have to see how they refocus and
Hmm.
maybe. I mean, they play their style of ball, win, lose, or draw. I mean, they do
Yeah.
that. There's no,
Yeah.
and they're not apologetic for it either. I mean, they play this run and gun, full press way of, but so does OKC. And I'm telling you, the last 4 minutes of that game yesterday was just swish, swish, swish. I mean, it was just one after another. Like, who's going to stop?
Right.
Yeah, nobody was backing down. They weren't. SJ SJ SGA stood in for. He was in for. It wasn't like they pulled him, and I knew they couldn't pull him. They didn't want to pull him because they didn't want. You know, what I mean, they didn't want this to go to let them get within four
Right.
because that could happen. All it take, you're down. There's one thing that's crazy about either one of them. They could be down 18 points, and a minute later they're down by four because they just hit three threes in a row or four
Yeah.
threes in a row. Hey, not a
Mhm.
problem. Not a
Not a
problem.
problem.
Uh,
Just that fast. Just that fast. They can be right back in it.
right back in it. So that's scary. Now, I think. I think, okay, like I said, OKC, that defense ain't no joke. There's no doubt about that. That defense,
Mm.
but neither
True.
is yeah, Indiana's
Yeah.
is tight. But like I said, there's a lot of cool
True.
props. Um, which I mean, you could parlay together. Like I said, you just have to really look at it. The game's not till when? When is the game? Thursday?
Check. Let me check. NBA final. Let me see.
I just love Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay,
7:30 p.m. on ABC.
okay.
So
So you got
Wednesday, June 11th, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, that'll be NBA. Let's bring this down. Score schedule. Yeah, deal. Yeah, so we'll play two in Indiana, and then the Monday game 5 will be in Oklahoma.
Hmm.
So both of them want to at least split this.
Yeah.
They both want to. That would be like, hey, we need to split this. Um, they're both, they both would love to win both, but they want to at least get us. Nobody wants to go down 2-1. Uh, nobody wants because if Indiana wins both, they'll put them up 3-. Nobody wants to go down 3-1 and go
Right.
into Oklahoma on Monday.
Right. You
I like
definitely
how
don't
they're
want to go back to Oklahoma 3-1. But yeah.
no, yeah, and I like how they're spacing out the games, trying to get the most they can get out of which they should, and
Hmm.
it gives the players a nice break. You know what I mean? To kind of
Hmm.
so we
Yeah.
can get the best that we can the best that we can get out of it. Anything crazy going on in the NFL?
The only thing in the NFL that is crazy is that Aaron Rodgers finally signed that contract and he is now the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I
He
can't believe
finally
that.
I don't understand it. And I just and as much as I love of football and everything about it, uh I just don't understand uh paying and putting your franchise in the hands of somebody based off of what they done before, based off of what
Yeah.
they've done in the past and what they've earned in the past. Bet the future of your franchise on that. I just don't see it. I think
It just,
because I don't know. I go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
I guess, which is kind of, it's surprising me that I'm surprised that they. I mean, obviously they're trying to win one right now. They feel like they
Hmm.
have a shot of winning one. I mean, they signed one of the best wide receivers. Um, and they made some moves. They got a good defense. But my question is this: and I know I'm going to make Pittsburgh fans, you guys always seem to have decent seasons, but every time that you play, you make it to the playoffs, you get smoked right away. It's just the competition level just doesn't seem to be there. You know what I mean? The
Hmm.
scheduling and I get it. You don't make the schedule. I get all that. I mean, you got to ride it out. But they had a 13-3 season, got smoked in the first round. I mean,
Hmm.
I me saying all that. I'm surprised they didn't go after trying to acquire somebody younger, somebody they can really build off of. Because I mean, you had Wilson, but you got him cheap. Okay.
Right.
Then you had the young man.
Uh, yeah, Justin Fields, which look that had sparks. A couple of those games, it looked. I was like, okay, he might be able to, with some tutelage, he might be able to grow. But
See, and that's what I thought. I thought, well, maybe stick with him for a couple
yeah,
years, young quarterback,
yeah.
try to tool him and get him, because you're getting him for the right price. And
Hmm.
then, but I don't know what was the deal. What did Rogers sign for?
He signed a 1 year deal. Let me get all the parameters on it. I know he
What?
signed a 1 year deal at I want to say 10 million, but let me be for sure. I don't want to put the wrong information out.
Okay, they got
But
him. They got him fairly cheap.
yeah. Uh yeah, fairly they didn't spend a lot of money on they didn't
I'm sure it's
spend a
got.
lot of money though.
I'm sure they got a lot of incentives. Steelers built
Oh
for
yeah.
prime, but instead get older, questionable skills. Um,
Yeah, I got it loaded now. one
so I
year
mean, like it's
deal.
1 year.
Yeah, but they still not listing how much the deal was worth. I'm pretty sure I know I heard it when it first came out, but yeah, it's loaded with incentives.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh
I'm sure of that.
yeah, but I will keep looking. I don't want to hold us up trying to find it
Well,
on air, but
if
I'll
they can,
keep looking.
if they can get one, like I said, they made a lot of improvements to their offense as far as more weapons.
Hmm.
And I mean, like I said, I thought maybe they would have kept Justin Fields for another year or whatever.
That's what I thought, or at least in case Rogers got hurt or something like that, they have they have a pretty serviceable quarterback that can take over for them, so they won't
Right,
fall too far.
right.
Because
And
they play in the AFC North, so they just beat each other up.
yeah,
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Veteran quarterback, he signed a 1-year deal for 13.65 million after passing the physical uh, last Saturday. The deal includes
Okay.
10 million guaranteed and will be worth up to 19.5 million when incentives, sources added. So he
Okay.
signed a 1-year deal that's 10 million guaranteed, and he could get 19 and a half in incentives if he has a good season.
All right. That's not like I said. They that's pretty reasonable in the quarterback standings right now as far as the pay, and maybe they can get
Yeah,
1 year out of him,
yeah.
and see what they can do. Like I said, he Rogers' first year with the Jets, he gets hurt, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and then a lot of it, it just goes back to too much attention. You know what I mean? Just too
Yeah,
much attention, and everyone's looking. Sometimes you just want to fly underneath the radar, then
yeah.
make your stand. Come out, make your stand, and go. Yeah, yeah, I was here the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole New York debacle from the head coach, him being as
Yeah,
arrogant as he
it's
was, and not
yeah,
really
they
winning anything. Um,
right. They gave him too much when if they gave him too much and it wasn't proved. It wasn't proven.
no,
All the freedom that they gave him didn't prove to be anything. Now, sources say that he will be attending the uh the mini camp that they're having. So he got the deal done right before then. So he's going to be there supposedly, working with the new team. So I guess he wants to put a good face up, for Pittsburgh as opposed
good.
to as the yeah, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing.
Yeah, that would be so. I mean, we're not that many days out from football, at least starting
No,
under
uh,
100. So,
yeah, we're under
all
100
right,
days.
under 100 days. All right, guys. I want to thank everyone for tuning in every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. And don't forget, give us a call at 318-221-5422. I want to thank everyone who makes it possible, everybody at the radio station. Um, I want to thank you. And like I said, if you guys want to hit us up on our Facebook page, Sportsbook, or KM Radio, if you have a public event, public announcement, whatever you got, just hit us up. More than willing to help out. All right, Big Lou, another Tuesday night in the books. We're in there like swimwear. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in on KM Radio, the biggest station in the land. Every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, the Sportsbook. Tony G, Big Lou, right here on KM Radio, where we go. Damn.
Damn.
Boom.
All right. All
That'll
right.
work.